I'm Bruce Hunter, the Associate Executive Director of AASA for Advocacy and Policy, with a legislative update. We're going to do this twice a month for the foreseeable future as a way of bringing AASA members information about the goings-on in Washington. The hot news in Washington now centers around the reauthorization of the Elementary Secondary Education Act, ESEA, known as No Child Left Behind in its last iteration. Secretary Duncan on Friday announced that the reauthorization of ESEA was off and running. Well, it was off and running, except for nobody really noticed that I looked for press stories around America and found none outside of in the trade press. And I think that means that there's the other issues facing the country, the economy, health care, climate change, the war in Afghanistan, have just drowned out education news. Not that the reauthorization isn't important, it's just going to have a hard time finding its way to the top of the pile. The other event in Washington that has caught a lot of interest, and particularly caught my interest, is the release of the Common Core of standards by 48 states. 48 states agreed on Common Core of standards, what students should have if they're college ready. And then these 48 states intend to map backwards down through the grades and use that Common Core of standards to replace the standards that the 48 states have. I took a look at the standards in math and English and found them much shorter, much more readable, much more accessible than the state standards I've looked at. For example, most states have many, more than 50 standards, grade by grade, in math and English. And those standards are not linked vertically, usually. Well, these standards are going to be linked vertically because they start at the end point and map backwards, and there are 16 math standards and 4 English standards. That's going to make it a lot easier for teachers. They're not going to be trying to teach to 100 standards. They're going to be trying to teach to 16 or 4. And it will make it much easier for 3rd grade teachers to look at 4th grade standards, lay them side by side, and decide how to move their students along. I think it ought to make teaching richer and deeper instead of broader the way the current standards have. Of course, upwards of 30 governors will be re-elected in the next couple of years, and so those standards may or may not have the same political pull that they have right now when 48 governors have signed on. The 2 states that did not sign on, Texas and Alaska, I'm not sure what their status is going to be. I know that Texas has just updated their standards and probably aren't keen to update their standards again so quickly, so that the states may not all move at once, but it looks to me like before too long the states will have usurped the movement for national standards by injecting a Common Core of standards coming from the states. As an AASA member and a school administrator, this is your chance to respond to the Common Core standards. You can go to the website of the commoncore.org, or you can go to the website of either the Council of Chief State School Officers or the National Governors Association and find your way to the website, the Common Core website, and make comments on the standards as you can see them. The other thing you can do is talk to your members of Congress about the reauthorization of ESEA, thinking about the reauthorization of ESEA in the context of having Common Core standards replacing the standards you have now. Of course, if you replace the standards, it means that the assessments will eventually be replaced. And that's sort of step 2 in the process. But step 1 is to begin the conversation about what the new AASA would look like, built around a common core standards coming from the states.